I should have made him come with me. He lived on my street, and we always left the factory together. We would walk home together, complain about work, and talk about girls. But not that night. I should have made him come home with me. Maybe then he'd still be alive. Soviet was supposed to be the safest explosive ever. The factory said they tested it for 4 years. They said it was supposed to be safe. But what happened that night says different. We worked at the explosive manufacturing company, Soviet's plant, just south of the city, near Miller's Clove. He and I worked the screening room. That's where we packed the powdered explosive. And usually at 5 o'clock, when the plant shut down, we'd all start making our way home. But it wasn't uncommon for men to stay late until the job was complete. And on that day, June 1st, 1903, my buddy Roy Rutan was one of the workers who stayed behind. He was the most ambitious person I ever knew. He was only 14, yet eager to work and help with the family finances. He wouldn't leave with the job half done. But I couldn't get out of there fast enough. And on that particular day, I grabbed my lunch pail, said goodbye, and headed out the door. That was the last time I saw Roy alive. The explosion happened 10 minutes just after closing. It was just enough time for me to get a quarter of a mile away from the plant, which was enough time to save my life. But it wasn't enough time for me getting thrown to the ground. Later, we found out that the shock of the explosion was felt 5 miles away in all directions, and shattered windows within 2 miles of the plant. Not a shop on Water Street was spared the windows. And all over the city, you could see the white and green funnel cloud stretching 200 feet into the air. I ran back to the plant as fast as I could to see what I could do to help. The explosion demolished the entire plant. 6 buildings in all. I was truly amazed to find that anyone survived. When I arrived at the plant scene, it was radiating with heat, and it was nearly impossible to get near the wreckage. Many more people showed up, and we all began to search for the people we knew were closest to the point of the explosion. Earl Davis, Lee Fuller, and Roy. Earl and Lee were found rather quickly because their bodies were thrown from the scene. Nobody knew where Roy was. The fire department, police, and ambulance wagons were on the scene within minutes, and with their help, we were slowly able to start sitting through the masses of debris. Even the president of the company, Mr. Pratt, was right there with us. It was about 7:30 at night when someone shouted they found another body. Gathered what was left of the polio room, we all stood around the charred and blackened body of a young man. We held our breaths as Roy's father moved in on the body to see if he could identify the unrecognizable remains. Boy, Mr. Rutan just broke down. I knew we found Roy. I swear the sound of his anguished cries will haunt me the rest of my life. There were half another dozen men in that explosion. They were all injured, but no one could give a clear account. Of course, everyone was confused about why there was even an explosion to begin with. 4 years of testing said that Soviet couldn't have blown without detonator cap. Mr. Pratt even issued a statement to the newspaper saying that there was no way of knowing what caused the explosion. They even brought in the country's leading expert on explosives to survey the damage. I don't think there will ever be any answers. It was an explosion that should not have happened on all accounts. They tell us that we're lucky, that we should be thankful that the explosion happened after work hours, or the rest of us would have been victims too. It's hard to think that way, though. 3 people died, especially when not one of them was one of my good friends, Roy Rutan.